Welcome back to TruthScope, your go-to destination for the latest in automotive news and industry updates. Today we're diving into a major development that's revving up in the world economy, a growing trade dispute between China and the European Union, EU. This confrontation is placing France and Italy in the spotlight as China takes strong countermeasures against new EU tariffs on electric vehicles, EVs. Key sectors like luxury goods and agriculture are feeling the pressure, and the stakes are high for European businesses. Will these economic powerhouses endure this turbulent stretch, or are they on the brink of a severe downturn? Let's unpack what's at play. Number 7. China's counterattack. France's luxury sector takes a hit. Starting with China's first major retaliation, the focus is on France's prestigious luxury industry. Brands like Louis Vuitton, Hermès, and others known worldwide for their high-end products are now hit with significant tariffs, ranging from 30% to 40%. In 2024 alone, France's luxury exports to China amounted to a staggering 19 billion euros. This sector includes iconic items like cognac, a French staple, which saw over 60 million bottles sold in China last year. But with these new tariffs, luxury exports are predicted to suffer a sharp decline. The impact here isn't limited to large corporations. Many smaller businesses, including vineyards, craftsmen, and artisan workshops that contribute to the luxury industry, are also at risk. France's luxury sector has a reputation for resilience, but if this trend continues, it could lead to long-term setbacks, affecting jobs and potentially triggering an economic slowdown across the sector. Number 6. Italy's fashion empire at risk. Fashion faces high stakes. While France tackles its luxury crisis, Italy, a global fashion hub, is also feeling the pressure. Iconic brands like Gucci, Prada, and Armani are now confronting similar tariffs imposed by China, also set between 30% and 40%. In 2024, Italy's exports in fashion goods to China totaled around 12 billion euros, but this revenue is now at risk. Italy's economy is already in a delicate state, with a heavy debt-to-GDP ratio of around 138%. This added pressure on the fashion sector could be a tipping point. The potential drop in fashion exports affects not just the luxury brands, but also an extensive network of artisans, textile producers, and small businesses. Although Italy is exploring new markets to diversify its revenue sources, losing China's high-end demand might push Italy's economy closer to crisis. Number 5. Agricultural concerns. France's wine and cognac under threat beyond fashion and luxury goods. Agriculture is another sector facing challenges in this trade dispute. France's wine and cognac, emblematic of its rich agricultural heritage, are under scrutiny as China investigates these imports for potential anti-dumping violations. China's market has long been a major buyer of French wines, and any new tariffs or restrictions could significantly impact this industry in 2024. This strain is hitting at a time when French vineyards already face other issues, like extreme weather and reduced yields due to climate change. Smaller vineyards that heavily rely on the Chinese market could be especially vulnerable. A reduction in exports could bring economic consequences to entire wine-producing regions and affect the livelihoods of thousands of people. For France, wine and cognac are more than economic assets. They're symbols of national pride. An export decline would have both economic and cultural repercussions, putting jobs and centuries-old traditions at risk. Starting with number 4, France's debt and Italy's financial fragility. The clock is ticking. France's 3 trillion euro debt has become a significant threat, growing beyond a mere statistic into a looming crisis. With China retaliating through economic measures like tariffs, France's economic stability has only worsened. This year, France's debt-to-GDP ratio reached an alarming 112%, showcasing deep financial vulnerabilities that many have long feared. Now, as a trade war with China affects key sectors, including luxury goods and agriculture, France risks plunging into an economic emergency. Experts have repeatedly warned about France's rising debt, and China's recent actions have only highlighted these concerns. Despite efforts to reform, France's dependence on foreign trade has left it exposed. With export markets shrinking and China wielding considerable influence, France might soon face a severe economic downturn, the consequences of which could echo across Europe. Now, number 3, Italy's fiscal weakness and tourism dependency, a fragile foundation. Italy is grappling with a financial crisis of its own, exacerbated by the ongoing trade war. Its fiscal deficit has ballooned to nearly 100 billion euros, with a debt-to-GDP ratio second only to Greece in Europe, underscoring the fragility of Italy's economy. Tourism, a cornerstone of the economy, accounted for almost 10% of GDP in 2024, and it's now at risk. Chinese tourists, who contribute heavily to Italy's tourism revenue, may decline in number due to China's travel advisories against Europe. Furthermore, Italy's luxury goods and agricultural exports, both heavily reliant on the Chinese market, are suffering due to increased tariffs. With profits declining and market access narrowing, Italy faces a mounting economic dilemma. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's government is under significant pressure, but the combination of fiscal mismanagement and the trade war's effects is creating formidable obstacles to finding a way out. Next, number 2, China's control of the EV sector, Europe's automotive industry at risk. Beyond luxury goods and agriculture, the electric vehicle EV sector has emerged as a central battleground in this trade conflict, posing a substantial risk to Europe's automotive industry. In response to the European Union's decision to place tariffs on Chinese EVs, China retaliated with tariffs as high as 48% on European-made EVs. This is particularly devastating for countries like France and Italy, where the automotive industry plays a crucial economic role. China holds control over 70% of global EV battery production, giving it a decisive advantage. European automakers rely heavily on Chinese batteries and raw materials. Without them, the European EV industry may come to a standstill. For France and Italy, already grappling with economic challenges, this disruption could lead to further financial troubles, intensifying their crises and pushing them closer to economic hardship. France and Italy in a trade war, struggling to survive. Finally, number 1, China's focus has extended from luxury goods and agriculture to the automotive sector, putting tremendous pressure on Europe's leading car manufacturers. As a response to the EU's tariffs on Chinese EVs, China enacted tariffs of up to 48% on European-made electric vehicles, potentially stalling Europe's move toward electric mobility. Major German automakers, including Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW, find themselves at significant risk, as China remains a vital market for both luxury and electric vehicles. With China controlling much of the global battery supply chain, Europe's dependence on essential resources like lithium and cobalt adds to the strain. For economies such as France and Italy, where the automotive industry is key, this trade war presents a dual threat: rising costs in production and shrinking market access. This combination could drive these already struggling economies closer to financial instability. Conclusion: France and Italy's economic challenges reach a critical point. The escalating trade war between China and Europe has left France and Italy in vulnerable positions. Key sectors in both countries, from luxury goods to agriculture and automotive, are bearing the brunt of rising tariffs. Already grappling with significant debt levels, France and Italy face the risk of a severe financial crisis. China's targeted economic measures have uncovered weaknesses in both economies, and without rapid reforms or diversification of their markets, these countries may face economic collapse. Such a crisis would send shockwaves across the European Union, affecting the stability of the entire region. The next few months are crucial. Will France and Italy adapt, or will they face a deeper crisis? What are your thoughts? Can France and Italy withstand the pressure of this intensifying trade war, or are they heading toward a financial breakdown? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to TruthScope and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on this ongoing economic story. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.